Just before I kick off this video, I just want to give a shout out to Alia and Kobe, who I'm sure will be watching this video. This is the first real look at the new cowl. Okay, let's see how we go. Got my die grinder with a Norton cut-off wheel. Yeah, and that's what we're going to cut this fiberglass with. I'm going to start in the middle. That way, because all of this is going to be cut out. If it wants to do stupid things, it might as well do it in here in part of the fiberglass that doesn't matter. So let's see how we go. We're going to cut down this line and we're going to cut down this line. Well, there you go. That was reasonably painless. I guess it was never going to be painful, but anyway. I guess the next step in this process is to put the engine back on. Okay, the upper cowl will go something like that. Up there and in there. That's the big step for today. Now the engine will go back on and this will get trimmed around this centre section to match the engine. A little bit more fun trying to fit the lower cowl and do the same with the lower cowl. I'm sure it'll put up a little bit more when I'm fighting gravity as well as the cowl. So, but anyway, that's where we are. Okay, step one of putting the engine back in doesn't start it. It starts down the back here. And step one is to take that battery down there and put it in the back of the aeroplane for ballast so the aeroplane doesn't tip up. I've also got a 20-litre drum tying the back of the aeroplane down. The aeroplane's very back heavy right now, there's no question about that. But if you put half a tonne of engine up the front, things change altogether. So as extra ballast, this battery can go in back here. Yep, that's just an old battery out of my V6. Now, obviously, the aeroplane's not going to fly with that battery back there, but in this particular aeroplane is part of the ballast. Yeah, there's the pilot's seat right back there, which is aft of the centre of gravity. Yeah, so the pilot actually weighs the back of the aeroplane down as well. The back of the aeroplane is relatively light without a pilot. The passenger seat is fairly close to being on the centre of gravity. So the passenger's weight just adds weight. It doesn't move the centre of gravity, or not very much anyway. A bit better. Okay. Okay, that's a considerable amount to actually be trimmed off the front, but that's okay. I kind of knew that. Like I say, trimming off the bottom is going to be way more difficult, way more difficult. But anyway, that's our task for the day. There we are, that's a bit better view. And here we are with my favourite. Oh, it's almost. Yeah, here's where I'm cutting the cowl to match the shape of the engine. Obviously, I'll attach a piece of rubber to the cowl, or I will give it a fair bit of clearance, maybe like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or more, so that the cowl and the engine can move separately to one another. I don't want them interfering with one another and bust a cowl or rub into an engine component. I don't need that to be happening. But that's pretty good. I'm fairly happy with what's going on. To do that, I will show you what I'm using to do it. I've just got a texter, and this is a 1/4 inch mudguard washer or penny washer. The penny washer fits pretty nicely over the top of the texter marker, and I just go in there and mark where I want the cut line, like that. I have to be a bit careful. I can't, whoopsie. I can't go cutting too much. Like I think we must be getting reasonably at the moment, so I don't want to go blasting away and cut too much off. Yeah, so here's there's a cylinder here, so I couldn't get in to mark, but I can extrapolate that across to here. So it'll be something like that. This won't come all the way around, it'll come to here, so I can bring it around as well, like that. And same with this side. This side. This side I can bring around here and over to there. So I'll now go and cut that off, and the cowl will sit down probably close to where I want it to go. Nah, I'll probably need to do this. Okay. So we need to come up there. back working on the cowling again. The upper part of the cowling, that side, although you won't be able to see that for sure. Yeah, but this top part of the cowling is pretty much fitted. It pretty much avoids everything, and I'm very, very happy indeed with it. What I've done is I've fastened the upper and lower cowl together along the split line here, just with a scrap piece of material, and the same here at the front. So the two halves of the cowling actually will stay relative to one another where they're supposed to be. My next intention, that can stay there for now, now you still can't see. My next intention is to install the hinge here and there, so that will always put the bottom cowl back into position. Now looking again, one of the issues I had was getting this shape. But what I've decided to do is to trace that, because this piece should look just the same as that piece, and this piece should look the same as that piece, and the one that goes across the bottom should look the same as that piece. So all I need to do is trace that, which I've made myself, and reproduce it on the other two corners, here and here. So yeah, I can do it, and it'll look pretty sweet. On the actual aeroplane, I see a couple of points of conflict, well, not really conflict I suppose, but bits that I have to avoid. There's the ignition cables on the right hand side will interfere with the cowling, so all I need to do on the bottom cowl is cut somewhere near where I've put this temporary piece, but cut down something like that, and it'll avoid the ignition cables. And on the left hand side it'll be similar, except maybe it's a little bit further out more, but just a simple U shape like that. The other couple of points of conflict are the exhaust pipes. The exhaust pipes will probably require a fairly big cut in each side of the lower cowl. And the only other point is one of the oil lines. Matter of fact, looks like the oil return line has to come up between the two exhaust pipes. They're the only points of interference. So I'll try and show you on the engine itself, but it's looking pretty sweet. If I see the points of interference will be these ignition leads where they cut through. The cowl needs to land on this piece here, if you can see where my pen is pointing. Yeah, that's where the cowl needs to land. The lower cowl will interfere with those ignition leads. The other points of interference, well, obviously the two exhaust stacks here and over there. That's no big deal, that's just a matter of cutting. Well, the cowl lands here. It lands here and it goes there, so it'll be something about that. So maybe it's not that big a hole that I have to cut. And I'll just move you a little bit. This one oil line here, that worked pretty good when you can see the top of my pen. This one here, that one's not a problem, it'll move out of the way. Matter of fact, it'll be completely out of the way, but the other one, the cowl will have to come past that oil line somewhere. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with that, how I'm going to address it. But no, it's pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward indeed. The other ignition harness will be this one here that runs to the front. You can't even see that. This one here that runs to the front spark plugs. Yeah, it'll come around here and go to each of the front plugs. Yeah. Oh, there's another possible interference right there. This line, but it's no big deal either. I'll work away. Matter of fact, it's right next to where I'm cutting anyway. So maybe I just make that a little bit bigger, make a Mickey Mouse here to avoid that. Yep, excellent. So anyway, that's this afternoon's job, to get back into the cowling. Hey mate. Just a very small update. I just had Simon, one of my neighbours here, and he actually pointed out that the exhaust system will miss the cowl completely. So what a win that would be. So the cowl comes from here, goes up, misses the exhaust system totally, and lands right about here somewhere. So yeah, so that's a miracle. It actually has no interference with the cowling whatsoever. So what a win that would be. I wasn't looking forward to that, I really wasn't, but he's quite right, it misses completely. I doubt it's going to be a major problem, but these clamps here can actually be turned so the bolt comes this way, and that's not going to pose any sort of an issue at all. But yeah, I'm getting. I'll try and get that lower cowl fitted this afternoon. That would be nice. But anyway, I'll keep wearing it down. The cowling is advancing. The piano hinge is installed on the sides. Well, installed. It's loosely installed. Put it that way. Yeah. So the two halves of the cowl will separate now. The hinge section will get riveted on where these clecos are. This cleco's holding it right now. But I'll probably put it on there with 5-minute araldite. Just an extra, something to hold it down properly. But now I'll go ahead and turn it over and start trying to replicate that hole in the cowl onto the bottom half of the cowl. It should be doable, put it that way. Okay, that's it. Well, I never quite got around to cutting this hole in the two cowls. I managed to replicate that shape down here. I also replicated it on the sides, but it really doesn't need to be on the sides. There's my template, but because the cowls move over other pieces of structure on the engine. The sides really do need to be parallel, so we really need to trim this like there. Yeah, so from this piece here up and up there like that. This, okay, I'm probably going to have to trim a bit more here anyway, but yeah, so it has to be sort of, the two sides have to be more or less parallel. The top and the bottom, of course, don't. So let's work this out. This will be fairly close to where we've got to go. A little bit wonky here. It won't be, I won't trim to this line. I'll trim back here somewhere and slowly work it down to the line, like, you know, like I always do. So there you go. Let's do some cutting. Well, there's the initial cut, just done with the jigsaw. Now I'll slowly bring it down to where it actually fits properly. I think I'll take these little plates that I made up. I think I'll take them and put them on the inside. There's I'm pretty sure there's more room on the inside for clearance than there is on the outside. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll just give you a quick look at the first offer up of the lower cowl. It's you know, where I trimmed, I trimmed, you know, I was quite generous with leaving a lot of material behind. I'm now going to have to go in and take that material off, but the first offer up is really good, and you know, look how the exhaust system's going. I actually disconnected that, where are we? I disconnected the one line from that little sump. I'll put it back on later and trim for just that line, but the objective right now is to get it trimmed, to clear everything else, and it is. It's matter of fact, I'm really happy, obviously it was all that time I spent getting the shape of the cowl with the construction foam and all the rest of it is paying off in spades right now. So it'll get there, and it'll get there and look really good. Perfect.